What's up guys, Rhino here and welcome to my latest FIFA 19 video. Of course we're still on the web app, I'm counting down the days, we're nearly there, but I'm still stuck on the web app grind. And my next video for you guys, obviously after the palaver of the SBCs, I've gone for something a little bit simpler and we've gone for a squad builder. As you can see, it's Premier League. Now, I'm sure you've probably seen a few different things like this going around, but this is my own individual one, my opinions of players who I think would be pretty sweaty and decent to use at the start. I've got the starting lineup there, and I've also got some other options hidden down on the subs and the reserves as well, different players that you could use as alternatives. So I'll kick it off from the start. In goal, I've gone for Nick Pope. Now, the goalkeeper is probably the position which, to be honest, is going to be personal preference. You can't really tell off the card until you use them, because you always get different experiences. So, like for example, last year, like Asmir Begovic, 82 rated. Yeah, he was an unbelievable goalkeeper. He did bits constantly. Like I could never beat him, and he was like pretty popular in foot champs. Whereas in my personal opinion, like an 88 rated Hugo Lloris wasn't that good. So you really just don't know. But one thing I did notice is that height tends to play, like it has a big impact on how good a goalkeeper is, and this guy is 6'7", so he should be a pretty good goalkeeper to have at the start. In terms of a price for Nick Pope, when I checked the prices a little bit earlier today, he was only actually 900 coins, so he's going to be very easily obtainable. So yeah, not a bad player for you guys to consider getting at the start. Moving on to the right back slot, I've got Trent Alexander-Arnold. Now, the right back position was actually difficult, to be honest. There wasn't many that I looked at and sort of thought in my head I could imagine them being reasonably affordable. Now, most of the ones which had decent looking stats were all sort of like 80 rated or above, so I would imagine they'd be a few thousand coins to pick up, so I didn't really want to put a player like that into the squad. Just obviously, this is more like for you guys who are really low budgets at the start and really just want to get a team so you can get yourself started. He has a solid card. I mean, he's like 80 pace, which is decent for right back, especially considering how much some of the pace of like different players has dropped this year in general. His defending physical stats aren't brilliant, but I think for like the early parts of the game and considering what else there is in the league, he wouldn't be a bad player to go with. I've got a price written down for him at 1.1k, so again, not too bad, pretty affordable. Moving into the centre back slots, we've got two Manchester United centre backs. We've got Lindelof and Rojo. Now, to be honest, it was pretty similar in that sense that there weren't many, I have to say. A lot of the players who may have been decent last year or in previous years, they lost a lot of pace. They were really slow, and I feel like because a lot of people invest heavily into the top end of the pitch at the start of the game when they don't have much money, so they think, if they've got like 10,000 coins, they might invest like, I don't know, say like 5,000 of those coins into the forward line, and then they kind of be a little bit more stingier at the back just because they want to focus on trying to score goals. Now, if you've got defenders who aren't very good, you're going to get killed by these forwards that are going to be there. So you need to invest like a decent amount of money into your centre-backs, get some players with a little bit of pace that can cope with these absolutely rapid forwards, but are still kind of fairly well rounded at the same time. So you've got Lindelof, who has 72 pace, 78 defending, 76 physical. He's got decent passing as well for a defender, so he looks like a very good card. Rojo, again, very well-rounded stats, because every stat is above a 60, which isn't too bad. Defending and physical stats, very good. 80 overall, not too bad. Lindelof was valued, I should say, at the time at 900 coins, and Rojo was pretty much bang on 1,000 coins. Obviously, these prices may have changed ever so slightly. They could go up or down. I would say probably by the time the game launches, they will certainly go up, because there'll be a big demand for Premier League players, because it's kind of like the go-to league at the start. It's the ones that people know, so they know if they're going to be good. So certainly, if you are going to look at getting this particular team, I would say try and get it as early as possible. I will be trying to do different squads for other leagues as well, so there will be different options that I will give to you guys if you want to use any of these. So the Premier League isn't the be all and end all, but yeah, just so you know that the prices probably won't be completely accurate by release day. In left back, we've got Van Arnholt. Now, he's, you know, he's good. He's obviously been pretty sweaty and just very, very overpowered for like most FIFAs. He's always had about 89, 90 pace throughout. He literally just seems to just about cling on to be a gold every year, although I have to say I think 75 is very harsh for him. He's certainly improved like towards the back end of last year since he's been playing under Roy Hodgson at Palace. He's had a bit of a goal threat to his game as well. But I've got him down at 1,900 coins, so you're probably looking at about 2.5k maybe by launch, which is obviously probably one of the more expensive players in the team, but he'll definitely be worth it, and he's a player that you could probably actually use for a lot longer than just a start. Moving into midfield, there's Moussa Sissoko. Now this guy, he's an absolute monster. I mean, it's brilliant that he's a centre mid this year. In previous years, he's been a right-sided midfielder, which has just kind of really let him down because he's not rapid. You know, 74 pace is superb for the middle of the park, but out on the wing against some of the fullbacks, you just don't really have much of a chance. Very well-rounded stats as well. Everything's sort of like in the low 70s except for his defending, but he does have 84 physical, which kind of compensates for the defending, really, I think. Because if he's caught out of position a little bit, he's got the pace to get back in, and he's going to barge anybody out of the way. I mean, he's just built like a wall, isn't he? He's incredible. I've got him down as 2,000 coins, so I think that's pretty reasonable for like a 76, but you know, very, very overpowered 76. That's not too bad. Then there's Ndidi. Now this guy, he is 2,400 coins. So to be honest, I expect him to be a little bit more. You can tell he's the sort of player he probably will go up even more because, you know, look at those stats. I mean, 83 defending, 82 physical. That's phenomenal for an 80 rated card. With 73 pace and 73 dribbling as well, he's going to be very good on the ball. He should be able to drive you up the pitch quite easily. So not a bad player to consider either. I believe he's probably 6 foot, so he's quite tall as well. So that's not too bad. And there's also, obviously, I've gone for Lanzini, a player who, you know, I packed. You guys don't have to go for him or to be an 81. He is 1.5k at the moment, but that is just a player which I personally will probably consider just because I was fortunate enough to get hold of him in the early stages. Moving on to the front line, and we've got on the right Gerard Deulofeu. Obviously he's an 81, so it's probably one of the highest rated players out of all the players I've actually selected for this particular team. But I've got him written down as 2,000 coins. That's what he was when I searched him. So even so, he's still not overly expensive. If you look at his stats, obviously he's still really quick. He's got fantastic dribbling as well for a player that rating. Not the best shot in the world, 70, you know, it's kind of average. 75 passing, but he'd be a decent player. He'd be a big threat at this stage in the game. So I put him in there. On the left side, we have got Izquierdo as well. Again, very, very similar attributes to Deulofeu in terms of, you know, very high in the pace and dribbling area, which is what you want for a winger, of course. Slightly better shot, but slightly worse passing. So, yeah, ever so slightly different variances and stats there for those two players. But in general, you kind of get in the same kind of package, even though Izquierdo is actually 4 ratings lower. So that doesn't really seem to make too much of a difference. And up front, I've gone for Josh King. Now, he was a really good player for me last year. I did enjoy using him quite a lot, and he's improved ever so slightly in his stats. He's still really quick. He's got very good dribbling. 78 shot as well for a 78 rated card is really good. There's a lot of real top end forwards who've got sort of like 85, 86 shot, and it's only like a few ratings lower. It's not bad. 78 is a very respectable shooting rating. 71 physical as well, 68 passing, not too bad at all. He's 6 foot as well, so he's got 4-star skills, so he's going to be a decent threat. Only 3-star weak foot, unfortunately, but you know, if he had 4-star, maybe it might add a bit to his value. He's not going to be one of the sort of like sweaty players. He is 2,000 coins. Also, his Izquierdo is 1,800 coins, which I forgot to add about him as well. So, pretty much on the whole, every single player in that starting 11, got the most expensive was Ndidi at 2,400 coins. So, as you can see, you know, very affordable players. Obviously, I know it does all add up. that team actually at the time did come to a total of roughly 17.5k. So it shouldn't take too long to get that amount of coins. Obviously you can maybe substitute a couple of them out for some slightly worse players, and then when you get a few coins, build up to those sort of players again. But yeah, that's entirely up to you, and based on like the situation that you're in. Obviously, yeah, it's going to be different for everybody. In terms of sort of like honourable mentions, like different players that you could put in replacements, I've not got replacements for every position. So like for example, at right back, I did sort of struggle, so I've literally just got Trent and that's it. But these are the players anyway. So first off, there's Theo Walcott. He's actually non-rare this year, but still, I was thinking with those stats, he shouldn't be too bad. He's obviously dropped a little bit in terms of rating, but still a pretty decent player. I'm sure he's a decent finisher still. He is valued at 1,000 coins, so again, pretty affordable. Obviously cheaper, like a cheaper option than De La Feu, so if you can't afford him, then by all means go for Walcott as a decent shout. There is another right side option in Adama Traore. Now, I picked him out obviously purely because he's got 96 pace. I mean, like, that's not really fair. He's like an F1 car. I mean, if he goes down the wing, it's going to be like he's activated his DRS. I mean, it's mad. He's outrageously quick, but he's got 83 dribbling. Obviously, you can see he's only got 61 shot. Now, I could imagine him to be quite frustrating. You get into like a lot of good positions, but he's just going to miss a lot. So you're probably going to hope that you can maybe get into good areas with him and then pass it on to somebody who might finish. But even then, like 64 passing, he's probably going to mess up a few. 75 physical is pretty good as well, so probably decent in the air for a winger. I don't think he's going to be like overly tall, 5'10", which I suppose is okay for a winger. It's not really short, but you know, it's not tall. He's not going to be like winning loads of headers, but with the physical stat, maybe that's something in like jumping, heading, stuff like that. So he might not be too bad. But the big downside to him, and I think the 96 pace had a massive factor in this, he is 3,000 coins, or was 3,000 coins when I checked it. And I would have thought he's just going to keep going up and up and up, purely because of that pace stat, and people are just going to get extremely hyped and excited to use a card that is that quick. Next along, we've got another option on the wide areas. In fact, we've got three for the left side of the attack. Now, there's Damari Gray, who looks like a solid little player. Good pace, good dribbling, everything we're looking for in a winger. Decent shot, decent passing, obviously nothing like extraordinary. I have him down as 800 coins, so that's a very cheap option. Certainly one that I might even consider myself, just because I do like him actually in real life as a footballer, so I'd probably just like to give him a go actually. So he's an option. There's also Bernard, again, pace, dribbling, good passing as well actually, a good combination stats. So he is obviously an 80, so he's going to be a little bit more. He's valued at 2,700 coins, so that's a decent option. I believe if he's anything like his previous card, so he's 4-star, 4-star as well, and he cuts in high, medium work rates, so obviously he's really short, but he's got a nice blend of stats that could make him a real threat, certainly in the early stages of the game. So I can understand why he's like 2,700 coins. So that's more of like a top end player to go for if you can afford it. And the third option there is Atsu as well. He's, you know, pretty much again just absolutely rapid, but he's another sort of similar player to Adama Traore in that there might not be that much end product with this guy, which is why his price is a little bit lower. He's 1,500 coins, so still like a decent amount, but you know, he's more than like Damari Gray, but he doesn't cut in either, like he's left-footed, so I can imagine he's okay. I don't know if I'd prefer him over some of these other guys, but certainly you guys could try him out. I'm sure he'd do a good job. Into the midfield, another option is Torreira from Arsenal. He looks really good, to be fair. I was very surprised at how well rounded his stats are. He looks like he'd be quite a good technician on the ball, very sort of like smooth to use, and he'd feel quite good on the ball. Obviously with the 80 dribbling, going alongside the 77 pace, he'd be sort of, you know, he'd buzz around in the midfield quite nicely. And with the 73 defender and 73 physical as well, I'm sure he'd be able to like snap into a few challenges, and he could run the midfield against some of like the lower rare cards, as long as he didn't come up against like top end players and get bullied a little bit, I'm sure he'd be okay. 77 passing is very good as well. Obviously his shooting stat isn't looking too good, but just in centre mid I think he'd be okay. Certainly don't play him in cam. You could probably play him in CDM as well, but maybe in like a 4-2-3-1 with 2 CDMs. I wouldn't recommend playing him as like a lone CDM just because he is so short. Usually say like in a 4-1-2-2 formation, if I wanted to play with a player in CDM, I'd go for height, because whenever people pump goal kicks up, if you don't, like, say it doesn't go as far as your centre backs, then at least you've got a holding midfielder there who's got some height and some presence just to get in there and win the ball for you. Yeah, you'd have to worry about getting bullied in that area. So Torreira probably wouldn't be that good in like a 4-1-2-1-2 in the holding midfield, but certainly in a formation where he's got players alongside him, he'd be very good. Oxlade-Chamberlain as well. I mean, he looks superb. Being a centre mid, look at that. I mean, 85 pace, 83 dribbling. That's like the stats of a winger, with 73 shooting and 78 passing and 76 physical as well. Very, very good stats to be fair for an 80. He is valued at 3k as well, so he's one of the real high-end players. Torreira as well, guys, was only 850 coins. I mean, that's an absolute steal. It's an absolute steal for Torreira. I mean, going by that, like, you think like Torreira, Gray, these players are dirt cheap. You need to go and pick these guys up. I mean, like I said, these cards will probably rise. So if you players like this, you pick them up now, you'd probably be laughing when the game comes out. They'd be great players to use at the start. They'll definitely get you some wins. I was going back to Oxlade-Chamberlain. You know, he used to be a winger on the game, but obviously because of his performances for Liverpool back in the last season when he was playing in midfield, they've changed to a centre mid, so he's going to be a brilliant centre mid. I mean, I was surprised he wasn't more than 3k to be honest with those stats, but hey ho. Finally, just like a few players on the reserves as well. We've got Jefferson Lerma, the new signing for Bournemouth. He looks very solid, sort of similar to Torreira in that very well rounded stats, but he's not really blessed with that good a shooting stat. But he does have 81 physical, so he would be pretty good. He's 5'10", so again, maybe not as like a lone holding midfielder, but alongside somebody. Maybe like alongside somebody who's a little bit taller, like, I don't know, like an Ndidi possibly. Like Ndidi and Lerma could be a good combination. Yeah, not like, obviously again, just a good option. He's only like 1,000 coins as well, so you know, very obtainable, very, very affordable. Certainly somebody that I would like to try out. I want to try out most of these guys at some point, but I don't think I'll be able to afford them all at the same time. 2 different left back options as well. If you didn't want to go for Van Aanholt, left back is we're blessed with a lot more options there than we are at right back from what I could see on the concept squads. Moreno, again, like he's always like this every year. 87 pace, 78 dribbling. Obviously he's got bad defending and bad physical because he's not really actually that good in real life. He just pretty much is pure pace, but when it comes to FIFA, I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's good enough. For the price that you're going to pay, what we're talking, 1,200 coins. 1,200 coins for that guy, it's going to be fine. You can get good links with players as well. Being Spanish and playing for Liverpool, there's going to be certainly a lot of decent players in and around his position that you can link with if you did want to go for a hybrid, like a cheap hybrid at the start. So yeah, very much like a decent option. There's Masuaku as well, who's pretty similar, except he does have very good dribbling stats. So he's a very attacking left back, I have to say. He's valued at 1.3k. So again, pretty cheap. You know, you're not going to struggle to afford a guy like that. And it's just personal preference, really. I mean, I could imagine, certainly, like if you were like a West Ham fan, then you'd pick him up. And like for me, being a Liverpool fan, I'd probably pick up Moreno. But yeah, it's just going to be what people decide. I mean, like I'm going off what they were like last year with some of these guys, so they might not be brilliant this year. I don't know how the gameplay is going to work, but just by looking at the face like stats that are there, I don't really see a lot between those players. So it's just literally go for whoever you want. And there's a couple different striker options as well. Obviously there's King. You could go for his Bournemouth teammate Callum Wilson. He was ridiculously good last year. It was just unfair for like the price that he cost. It was literally just because he was 75 rated. He was unreal. He could finish like from anywhere off both feet for some reason. Unbelievably quick. great stats. You know, he's got 87 pace, 75 dribble, 75 shot. I mean, that's great in itself. And he's got the 73 physical to go with it, and he costs 2,000 coins. Now, I think a bit of that price is because people remember how good he was last year, so they're kind of wary about that. But yeah, still 2,000 coins. It's a bit of a steal, really. And finally, there is Andre Gray, who 87 pace, 72 dribbling, 73 shooting, and 73 physical. Obviously only a 75 overall, so that's why his stats aren't looking as high. But if he's anything like last year, I mean, he's going to be scary good. There were games when I'd have very, very high rated teams, and you know, he just banging like 4 against me, just like no fear. His long shots were just mad good. I mean, how he did it, I don't know. You just hit it from any distance off either foot, and he just ripped the net out. The top corner would be on fire. Your goalkeeper would stand absolutely no chance. You'd be there like tearing your hair out, thinking, you know, I've got all these players, and this guy is just like literally discard value, but he's so good. So yeah, if he's anything like last year, then I'm going to be extremely scared to go up against him. I've got him down as 1,700 coins, so again, pretty affordable. He's even actually cheaper than Wilson at the time when I looked on the prices. So yeah, we'll see how it goes in terms of the prices, guys. But as I said, it was about 17,500 coins for that starting 11. If you wanted to pick up all of these players and try all of them out, they come to a combined total, about the time it was about 37.5k. So if you get up to around like the 40-50k mark, then certainly you'll be able to trial these guys out, and maybe a few different ones as well. And that's kind of factoring in the inflation as well, and the prices that's going to inevitably come with the hype of the game and the demand for the players, because people are really going to want to try them out, so the prices will rise quite rapidly, I would say. So yeah, like I said, if you're going to try any of these players, then pick them up as early as you can. But yeah, that's it for me, guys, in this particular video. I will try and release a few more of these types of videos for the different leagues, like Serie A, Bundesliga, BBVA, possibly the French league, but I might not. I may just stick to 4. It's pretty much just what I'm going to be doing in the build-up to the launch of the game, alongside some of the SBCs if I can. So yeah, if you did enjoy the video, guys, then feel free to drop a like, comments, let me know what you think, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel already, then please, if you can, hit the button and turn on your notifications as well, so you know when the latest episodes of this Road to Glory do drop. But yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.